Marvel's moving ahead with the official launch of its Phase 4, and the first thing we're getting is a short animated series centered around fan-favorite character Groot. I Am Groot premiered on August 10th, and while the series comprises just 5 incredibly short episodes, some of you may have missed all the good Easter eggs and references. Without further ado, let's jump right in. First up, where in the MCU timeline does the series take place? The first episode of this latest Marvel series is called Groot's First Steps, and of course, every single Marvel fan is excited to learn more about how baby Groot's life begins. It's a pretty cute episode for a starter, and we see Groot as a tiny sapling. If you've forgotten, we saw Groot in his adult form in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but then eventually, we all had to go through some major heartbreak as Groot sacrificed his own life to protect his friends. But that wasn't the end of this beloved character. Rocket takes a broken twig that belonged to Groot and buries it inside a potted plant, and voila, we're blessed with the unbelievably cute presence of baby Groot. Since I Am Groot's first episode begins with our cute little baby Groot waking up in a potted plant, we can assume the series begins right after the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Next, did you all notice Nebula's yarrow root next to Groot's potted plant? Okay, in case you didn't pay full attention to the series, you might have missed the yarrow root that was right next to baby Groot's potted plant. The root seems to be a nod to the funny scene that took place in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. In the second movie, when Nebula, Gamora's sister if you forgot, is captured by the Guardians, she eyes the yarrow root on their ship. Because Nebula was in a particularly hungry mood in that scene, she asks the Guardians if she can eat the root, but they all tell her no. On one occasion, she even tries to eat the root when no one's around, but Drax spots her and tells her the root's not ripe yet. Everyone on the ship kept telling Nebula the root's not ripe yet, but of course, she's not the kind of person who listens. Eventually, she finds her chance to eat the root only to discover that the Guardians had been telling the truth. The root really wasn't ripe. We see the root again in I Am Groot, and we're sure the writers meant it as a funny way of recalling Nebula and her stubborn tendencies. And how about that disclaimer they showed after the ending credits? Alright, in our humble opinion, the best part about this series is the disclaimer they show at the end of every single episode. It reads, "No tree creatures or plants were harmed during the making of this short." Well, that's just straight up hilarious. We see baby Groot getting into all kinds of trouble in these episodes. He's finding himself in fights with alien creatures and plant life. In one episode, baby Groot's replaced by a bonsai tree, and there's no way he's going to let that one go. We have him lashing out at the tree in a fit of jealousy. This happens in the first episode. Every other episode has its own disclaimer once it ends, and we'd suggest going back to rewatch them as they flash on the screen a good second, and then they're gone. They're pretty charming in their own way and add some more fun to the show. Well, what about Yondu's Eclector ship they gave a glimpse of in the third episode? In case your memory needs some jogging, the Eclector was the ship Yondu's clan of Ravagers used in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. By the end of that movie, the ship gets destroyed. What's interesting to note here is that in the third episode of the animated series, we see baby Groot boarding the Eclector. This could mean that the show takes place during the same timeline as the second Guardians movie. In the movie, Groot, along with Rocket and Yondu, were held as hostages by the Ravagers on the Eclector. The Ravagers had stolen Yondu's arrow, and Groot searches to retrieve it when they're all on the ship. So, Groot's been on the ship in his adult form, but now in the series, we see baby Groot on that same ship, and it's making us wonder, has he been on the Eclector before? Let's hope a second season clears this up for us. So, we have Groot reading a book that shows Thanos on the cover. Marvel's been giving us a lot of tiny snippets of Thanos lately, and they've done pretty much the same in the third episode of I Am Groot. So here's how we see that purple alien in Marvel's latest series. We have Groot sitting in the bathroom, and while he's minding his business in there, he's got a book he's reading to kill some time. Now you've just got to pay attention to the cover of the book he's reading in there, and you'll see it's got an illustration of Thanos on it. Marvel's left the Infinity Saga behind, but they sure are dropping off these traces of Thanos in all their latest series. What's more, Groot even challenges the Iwa to a dance-off. We all know that groovy dance battles are Peter Quill's trademark style. In the first Guardians movie, we saw him distract Ronan in the battlefield with a pretty awesome dance sequence. Well, our baby Groot is no different. Seems like he's learned plenty of stuff from Quill and even put it to good use. In one of the episodes, baby Groot encounters a pretty annoying alien called Iwa, who's got the ability to shapeshift. When this Iwa morphs into Groot, Groot, of course the tree doesn't like it one bit. We mean, how could anyone be like Groot? There's always been just one Groot. Lo and behold, we see Groot challenging the fake Groot to a dance-off so they can decide once and for all who would be the only Groot standing. While the two are engaged in this epic dance-off, our clever little baby Groot manages to get the Ewa in the perfect spot next to the escape door. Once that happens, Groot grabs the chance and pushes the button to the escape door, and there you have it. The Ewa's flying off into space, and our little genius tree has won this dance battle. That was one absolutely awesome scene, no doubt. Seeing baby Groot dance, that's free serotonin right there. And then we get a look at Peter Quill's backpack. Peter's story started in the first Guardians movie when he was abducted by Yondu and the Ravagers as a little boy. While he was under them, he kept with him certain things from back home so that he could still have the memories of his life on Earth. Some of this stuff included a backpack and his mother's cassette tape. We do know for certain that Peter kept his mother's cassette, but the backpack? We've always been uncertain about that. But Marvel fans on Twitter are sharing screenshots from scenes in I Am Groot, which prove that Peter did indeed keep his backpack with him all this time. In the last episode of the series, we saw Groot going through a very old JanSport book bag. This particular book bag has lots and lots of patches on the front. There's stickers of the NASA logo, and there's another of the Pac-Man too. We feel like the Pac-Man sticker could be a nod to a similar Pac-Man scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Anyway, as Groot's going through the items inside this book bag, he comes across an Elf comic. Now, in the MCU, this comic was released back in 1988, and well, if you're wondering what's so significant about that year, turns out it's the same year that Peter was abducted. There you have it. Now we know for sure that Peter kept the bag with him all this time. Finally, a nod to the original Groot. In the final episode, we have baby Groot paying tribute to the Guardians by painting a picture that includes them all. The painting features Groot wrapping his branching arms around Peter, Rocket, Drax, and Gamora. In his own cute way, baby Groot covers the picture with green glitter. We think this painting serves as a way of paying homage to adult Groot, who saved the lives of his friends in the first Guardians movie. In the movie, right before Groot dies, he wraps his long arms around all of his friends and shelters them from the debris that's falling all around them. In that tragically beautiful moment, we see his leaves start to grow on his branches and lights start shining around them. Way back in 2019, director James Gunn tweeted how first Groot is dead and baby Groot is his son. Now, if there's any truth to that, this touching scene in I Am Groot shows that while the original adult Groot is gone, baby Groot is still connected to him. And as that painting scene clearly demonstrates, baby Groot still has memories from the past. That's a wrap for this video. Want to hear more about the latest Marvel theories? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.